In this video, I'd like to talk about unique grief and what I mean about that. But before I do that, I'd like to introduce myself. Hello, I'm Ghazala at the Heart and Soul Cafe. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. And if you're here for the first time, you're very, very welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Now, unique grief, what do I mean by that? Well, because I counsel women, mainly women who have lost children, but I do counsel other people as well who've had other forms of loss. And what I've learned over the years of doing that is that we can, I can offer some tools to people and say, look, maybe you could try this, or this works for me and that works for me, maybe you could try that. Or I had a past client who sort of experienced a sort of similar situation, and she did this, maybe that's something that you could sort of look at. Maybe you could look at it from this perspective or that perspective. And so we give those tools, but the person who's receiving it really depends on how they are receiving it, what they're taking on, what they're not taking on, what they feel that they can understand, what they feel that they can't it doesn't resonate with them, it doesn't connect, they can't make any kind of connection with that. For them, it doesn't make a connection. So how they then navigate through their grief is completely unique to them, isn't it? You can have siblings, you can have two siblings who have experienced the same loss. Let's say if their mother passed away, their father passed away. So they've experienced the same loss, but the way they are grieving is completely different. You can't use the same set of tools necessarily for both of them because their grief is unique. And I think and then when this is sort of understood, people can sometimes say, well, then what's the point? What's the point of me, receiving counselling or receiving, bereavement counselling if it's not actually necessarily tailored to me? How am I going to benefit from it? And why am I doing it? Is it just a complete waste of time if I have to find my own way through it anyway? Yes, to a certain extent. As I say, having counselling, having bereavement counselling and support will help in that you will be offered some tools and say, look, this is maybe what you could look at if you are struggling, how you are struggling. And when I counsel people, I obviously tune into some things that I know that would probably benefit that person. I will turn the volume up, I think, is a way of explaining it in that particular thing. Okay, if there's other things that I feel aren't really going to help that person, then I will minimize those things in myself because I feel that would get in the way of that support. So I won't bring that to the forefront necessarily. So how I navigate through those sessions will be on the basis of what I feel that person needs, because I've asked them what they need, and my interpretation of that. And hopefully it will meet somewhere in the actual needs of that person as well. So the needs of that person will hopefully be met by me sort of analysing that and thinking about that and coming to some kind of conclusion as to where I feel these sessions need to go and what kind of help I feel that person needs. Okay? But then after that, I might finish those sessions, I might have 4 sessions, 6 sessions, and then we don't then after that have weekly sessions anymore. Not that I've completely lose contact, because I don't actually lose contact or stop contact with any of my clients. If they need me at any point, they can contact me and I will be in touch with them again. That's fine. So I don't disappear. But our sessions sort of formally come to an end. So then it's up to that person to take those tools and see what it is helps them. And it might not be everything that's been shared. It might not be, it might be only a very short sort of percentage of what's been shared that actually works for them. But hopefully it will put them into a mindset where they can understand that there is actually things out there that they can access. There's resources out there that they can access. You might have signposted them to other things and they can access those perhaps. So they then begin another journey, if you like, of finding what it is that's affecting them. Not what it is that's affecting them only, but how it's affecting them. What they can put into place that they feel might actually help them, so that they can reach a place of being the best version of themselves with what it is that they're carrying. Does that make sense? So that they can navigate through the rest of their life with their grief. And it's not a matter of, healing to the extent that they are then healed, because a lot of us know that when we are grieving, we are probably grieving for the rest of our lives. We don't come to a point where we step off grief or bereavement. It's not really like that. It's something that we learn how to we learn how to navigate, and we learn how to walk with, not move on sort of from, not leave it behind, but walk along with it and allow it to be a part of it, embrace it, turning that pain into power, into to a quality in you, into something in you that you didn't have before. So turning that pain into something possibly that's quite powerful. You might find ways of helping others because of the experience you've had, and that might be a good thing. So it's really a matter of finding how you are going to somehow not benefit from what's happened to you, but turn it into something positive. Because ultimately you are going to be carrying it, whether you turn it into something positive or you don't. You still have to live the rest of your life carrying that. So the way I see it is, if I'm going to carry it anyway for the rest of my days, I may as well do something sort of positive from it. Does that make sense? So I sometimes hear people say, well, okay, you're telling me that no grief is the same, and there's no handbook that you're going to hand me, and I'm going to look at that and think, this is where I am now, and this is I'm on the if we talk about the Kubler-Ross model, I'm at the depression stage now, and now I'm at the denial stage, and now I'm at the acceptance stage, and oh, hang on a minute, but I thought I was at the acceptance stage and I'm feeling low again. So you then realize that, well, it's not linear, and it's going backwards and forwards, and that's really where you come to, it's unique for you, for every person. And that person may then think, well, if it's so unique to me, how am I actually going to get any help for this? I'm on my own with it, aren't I? Well, no, not necessarily. Even though it's a unique journey for you, you can still feel that you're holding someone else's hand, or someone is holding your hand while you're experiencing that. So you're not experiencing it alone, you're experiencing it with some guidance for whatever stage you're at, and whatever is that you're experiencing, and somebody's there to listen. That's important. Someone's there to validate. That's important. So you're not just completely on your own through it, because grief can be very, very lonely, especially when you are around people. I can sometimes feel that way, that I'm around people who aren't understanding what it is that I'm experiencing, or they will you know, if I have shared something, they'll step in and say, oh, yeah, you know, I know what you're experiencing, I know what you're going through, because I lost my mother, you know, 3 years ago. And I know that her mother may have been, you know, 86 when she passed away, and it's not quite the same, I wouldn't say, you know, as losing a 22-year-old son, losing an, you know, 86-year-old mother, not quite the same thing. So, you know, I feel that we can all benefit from talking about it. We can all benefit from listening to others about it, because we listen to other people's experiences. And although it's not, you know, the same as our experience, we can understand that, well, there's something there that makes you feel that you're not on your own. You know, when I'm counselling my clients and people say to me, well, how can you counsel other people, other mothers who have lost children when you've lost your own child? And doesn't that just add to your pain and your grief and your, you know, doesn't that just add to it? Well, it doesn't for me, and I don't know why. It might do for others, but for me it helps, because I'm talking to another mother and we make that connection, that meaningful connection, that we're sort of like, we're holding each other's hand and saying that, well, you're not alone and I'm not alone. And that makes me feel good, in that from my pain, from what I'm carrying and what I've experienced, I can possibly help others. I can help somebody else and make their life a little bit more bearable. And although I can't fix anything, because I can't bring anybody back, just as I can't bring my own son back, I can't do that. But what I can do is make you feel that, yeah, I'm holding your hand, that you're not alone in this, that what you're experiencing and feeling is probably something that I also experience and feel, so that I can say, well, actually, that's something that I find in lots of my clients, so it's something that's quite normal, and you're not, you know, you're not doing it wrong. You're not, although your grief is unique, the symptoms that you're experiencing are probably symptoms that lots and lots of other people experience. Yeah. So just knowing that can make you feel that, okay, you know, I'm not losing my mind here. I'm not doing it wrong, or, you know, it's something that I'm trying to navigate the best as I possibly can with what I know about grief. And to educate yourself around what it is that you're experiencing is really, really empowering, because that then helps you, for one thing, acknowledge that you are experiencing what you're experiencing, and each day can be different. So if you have a moment in the morning where you sort of have a check-in with yourself and say, well, where am I today? How am I feeling today? How am I remembering my child today, or the person that I've loved and lost? I still love, but I've lost physically. You know, how am I dealing with that today? And the more you do that, the better you get at putting things into place to help you deal with that pain and that loss that you're experiencing that day. And that's useful and important. So really the main reason for making this video today was because I have heard so many times from clients that, well, what's the point in doing this if you tell me that there's no sort of handbook or anything, that, you know, I'm completely lost, I'm completely alone. But hopefully the counselling or the support of or having someone listen to you will help you feel that you're not alone, and that there is someone to listen to you. And the fact that you're sharing and opening and talking about it helps you sort of offload, and helps you come to that realization that even though this is my own journey and I have to deal with this and work with this on my own, it doesn't mean to say that I can't have people in my life that are helping me and guiding me while I go through it, while I work through it. And that's sort of, I think, really the right kind of mindset to have when you're grieving and when you're experiencing loss. Okay. Thank you for listening to this, coming in and having a look at this video. I really do appreciate it. Please comment, you know, what do you think, what do you feel, what do you agree with, what do you disagree with? Please let me know in the comments. Please, if you found it helpful, do like, do comment, and do hit that notification button so that you know you get notified of any future videos that I make and when they're out. When they become live, please do that. Please do subscribe. Thank you to all those of you who have already subscribed, because I do want to build this community where we have each other's back and we don't feel alone. Thank you for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, look after your hearts and souls.